Welcome back, everybody, to the Steve and Bobby Show. I'm Steve Williams, and this is Bobby Bliatu. We're going to do a special report on the Mueller Report because we didn't get down to this one because we try to read some.
It's like, a lot of pages, a lot of things, and everyone's arguing about it. We'll wait for Congress to do something. It is to impeach. So we'll not really get into that, but we'll wait for them to get to it. But what I've noticed is that this report has been the basis of a lot of arguments, a lot of debate, a lot of conversation. Right? I was in San Diego this last weekend, and I saw a lot of MAGA hats and heard a lot of conversations of people who didn't even read the thing. Like, yeah, it totally exonerated Donald Trump. Totally exonerated him. And I wanted to say something so bad because if you read the report, it actually says that it does not exonerate Donald Trump. It actually says it does not exonerate him.
Yeah, it says that it says it in black and white.
Right.
Actually,
you can't argue with it. There's no interpretation. It says it does not exonerate him.
But you know who they're going off of?
William Barr
and Trump.
Right. It exonerated him.
I didn't even think they're going off William Barr. I think they're going off Trump. Trump basically said, exonerated me. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, exonerated. Like in our last segment, exonerated so much that you were forcing people or telling people not to show up to subpoenas. Yeah, that's how much information's out there.
And the best way, I guess the best way to look at the report is what we did was right here. You guys see, look at here. We're putting black and white what the report said. There's certain segments of the report you guys can go back and read. I think the report's 448 pages. It gets into detail about a lot of different stuff. But let's talk precisely of what they're saying in the report. Okay, this is verbatim, quote unquote. Okay, it says, because we determined not to make a traditional prosecutorial judgment, we did not draw ultimate conclusions about the president's conduct. So basically, it wasn't their job to get him in trouble, basically, right? It wasn't Mueller's job. What Mueller's job is to get the facts, write the facts down, and you deal with it. That's what Mueller was supposed to do. He wasn't, you see all these, I can't wait till the Mueller report done because, they're going to indict Trump. And, now that I understand, because this is a great learning process. I mean, we're living in probably an awesome time. If you guys are political hacks or whatever.
An awesome time.
Awesome.
For a political
guys like me and you, we're political guys. So we breathe this stuff. We love this stuff. So it's kind of interesting that I did not realize that when you have a special counsel like this, that they don't actually do the indictment.
Well, this is different, though. This is different
against
the president of the United States, right? So they aren't doing that piece of it. I mean, because let's face it, a lot of people did go to jail or get indicted, and a lot of people are going to get in trouble from findings within this investigation, right? Within his investigation. See, the thing is that the Office of Law Counsel, OLC, had put forth that you shouldn't indict a president. Not that you can't, but that you shouldn't, because it undermines their ability to be the leader of our country. In a sense,
it makes sense.
I get where they're going with it. So what you just read was kind of like it's their intent to put out the investigation, and put it out there for Congress to take action if they see fit. Right? And basically, when you read through this, it's a blueprint for how to go after the president, to impeach, arrest, and do whatever.
Whatever you need to do.
Yeah, because in there says, he's protected, right? In a sense, he's protected as the president from these criminal actions. But once he is no longer in office, he is no longer protected from the actions that he took.
Right. And, Greg Brower, which is the Republican former Attorney General for George W. Bush and the Bush administration, said this, and this is quote unquote on him. He said, the report reveals that there's an awful lot of contact between the people in Trump world and Russians, and there appears to be at least some attempt of or at coordination. So basically what Mr. Brower is saying is the fact that there's something there. Remember, that was a big thing. There. What is there? And so I think this is something that we need to look at by Congress impeaching the president. Now, look, Here's the thing about impeachment. I think did we talk about this? I think we talked about this last week about impeachment. Impeachment doesn't necessarily mean that the president is guilty. That's not what it means. It means that Congress, because remember, Barr did not release the Mueller report to Congress. So what is it, redacted portions of the report, nobody knows, not even Congress, not even the Intel Committee has seen it. Nobody's seen it. So if you do impeachment proceedings, which is just to see what's in the redacted portion of the report, that would at least allow Congress to look at that. And then if Congress says, okay, wait a minute, yeah, there's not enough here to indict him or not. You know what I mean? Because if you redact those, remember, we can't see them, right?
Right.
And Congress can't allow the American public to see that. Is that correct?
Right.
Because they're redacted, private, and they're ongoing investigations that are still going on.
Right.
So
There's a lot of things that I would love to talk about. I know one is that we talk about Trump's taxes. We did a whole show about Trump's taxes, and we were kind of like, hey, let's not go after them in that sense, right? Let's not just force it to happen because there's nothing you could do with it. Let's indict him. Let's take upon the processes that are set before us to get those, and that's through investigation, by actually now coming out with an allegation that he committed crimes.
Yep.
That's the impeachment process.
Yep.
Right? Through the impeachment process, if the Senate finds him guilty or not guilty, it doesn't do it in a criminal sense, but it does it in a sense of whether or not he's fit to be president of the United States of America.
Good point.
So people, if you're on this high horse of, oh, it's not a crime, it's not high treason or a misdemeanor. No, the system is set up so that he's not convicted of those things first. Right? That comes later.
Because presidents make decisions that are important,
Right.
that are detrimental to the United States and the welfare of the United States. I understand that. There's stuff that Donald Trump knows that we don't know.
Right.
He's getting intel from all different types of people, even though he doesn't use them. But, there are things that the president knows that we don't. So there's sometimes decisions that he has to make that are going to be where we're looking at it from the outside, looking in, hey, this doesn't look right. But he sees something different.
So when it comes to a point where we feel that something's going wrong, something's out there was interference from Russia, for instance, and let's fix that. Let's find out what's going on. And if he's hiding a lot of stuff, let's see if he's actually fit. Let's check if he's actually fit to be a president, and let's check if the allegations of his collusion, let's check if his allegations of a lot of other areas of where he's obstructing justice and all those things are actually true. You want his taxes? Impeach the guy. Go and impeach him. Run him through the process. Okay? You put him through the process. We have 448 pages of evidence, of investigation, of all those things. Now you want to see his taxes to see if he was paid off by all these other folks. Then do this. You impeach the guy, put it to the House Judiciary Committee. They put it forward, go to a vote, 2/3 vote from House. House votes to impeach him, goes to Senate. He starts trial. The unfair part and whatever is John Roberts would be the overseeing judge because the Chief Justice does this. But then it puts it through an investigation. It puts it through a trial. It makes it completely transparent. And then we will see what kind of president he is at that particular point. Okay? And I think doing that brings on his resignation. But
oh, no, he's going to quit, right?
Because there's a lot of other things that can come from this, other crimes that he may or may have not committed, people say. But again, this is the process. We have to go through the process. Let's go through it. Impeachment, the move to impeach, the move to investigate if he's doing any wrongdoings, do it. Because I'm sorry, we just talked about earlier, asking everybody to defy subpoenas
is ridiculous. I don't know. What is that, obstruction?
Right.
That's obstruction. That's like obvious obstruction.
It's like you don't even know what they're researching. I don't care what they send you anything if it's against another country or some citizen of America. Just defy all subpoenas right now.
Just defy it. Just don't follow it. So look, I'm going to go real quick through some of the stuff that this is stuff that's in. You can go on the 448 page, go online and look this Mueller report up. This is stuff that's not redacted. This is just stuff that's there. So it says the investigation established that the Russian government perceived it would benefit from a Trump presidency, worked to secure the outcome, and that the campaign expected it would benefit electorally. There you go. Electorally from information stolen and released from the Russian efforts. The Russians made efforts to provide negative information about candidate Clinton and to send that information to the Trump campaign, efforts made public through Trump's own words. This is in the Mueller report. The Russian contact consisted of business connections, offers of assistance to the campaign, invitations for candidate Trump and Putin to meet in person, invitations for campaign officials and representatives of the Russian government to meet in policy positions seeking improved U.S. and Russian relations. Also, has caused internal polling data to be shared with Kalmanek, whatever, and sharing continued to some period of time after the August meeting. This is in the Mueller Report. Kalmanek, if you guys don't remember, is the GRU guy, that's business guy, part of Russian intel, okay? They also discussed the status of Trump campaign and Manafort's strategy of winning Democratic votes in Midwestern states. Minnesota people, Wisconsin people, Michigan people, they targeted these areas, the Trump campaign, and shared that information with Russian intel. So here they got public polling data, use that data for specific areas within the country, areas that Hillary Clinton lost by 70,000 votes. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff here. I can't even go through it. Just go
there's
look at the
400
report.
something odd pages in there.
It doesn't
Right,
exonerate the president.
There are, no, it doesn't exonerate the president at all. Okay, so I think there are two things that really get to me about this investigation, about how America is reacting to it, about all of us. One, look, Russia interfered with the elections. It's in there in black and white. The GRU, or through the Internet Research Agencies, from St. Petersburg, Russia, that was working here in America, had met with many of the Trump campaign officials, the Trump campaign workers, and so forth, under the guise that they're IRA. So not that they were government officials or government entities. So that's why they're free from criminal conspiracy.
Yep.
Understand, I always said that he's not going to get caught for these things. Fine. But they reached over 126 million Americans through their ads, over 80,000 Facebook posts, all kinds of things to interfere with the election. We know that the Russian government was involved, and we are saying nothing about it.
Doing nothing.
We are all playing a game of, it's Hillary, it's Obama, it's Trump. Look, when someone commits a crime and they're paid by someone else to commit a crime, when you caught that criminal or that person that committed the crime, you try them. At the same time, you investigate and find out who paid them. We are leaving Russia alone.
Yep.
Our leader of this country, Mr. Donald Trump, needs to go out there and do something. And hey, if they interfered in the elections and you think that, but it didn't change the vote, fine, you can believe that. They did a bad job. Point is, they attempted. You need to do something.
Yeah.
And so let me leave you with one thing, folks, as you are arguing with your colleagues or your family members or anybody, and when they go to say, well, you know what? The Robert Mueller investigation was one-sided, it was a witch hunt, and it was always against Donald Trump and trying to put him in jail. Let me leave you with this finding in the report. Yes, it was biased. It was, and let me tell you how. You look at this. It says, third, we considered whether to evaluate the conduct we investigated under the Justice Manual standards governing prosecution and declination decisions. But we determined not to apply an approach that could potentially result in a judgment that the president committed crimes. What is that? What is that? So you did the report, conducted investigations outside of normal procedures, did not follow the same investigations for ethical conduct of judges, of congressional members. You didn't follow the normal procedures because you didn't want the president to be found guilty, possibly guilty of committing crimes.
And these things here, and here's the
one-sided.
One-sided.
For the president. For the president. Yeah. And look how bad the report turned out.
People, this is what you have to look at. This, seriously, and let's put politics aside here in the sense of partisan politics. Let's put partisan politics aside. And I'm serious. Donald Trump's president today, okay? The Russians helped Donald Trump get elected today. We all know that. CIA says it, FBI says it, Mueller Report says it. Everybody's saying it but Donald Trump. The Russians helped Donald Trump become president. Whether it was effective or not is irrelevant. Okay, that's not the point here. The point here is your man is elected now. Okay? We don't know what the Russians' avenue of approach for 2020 is, or 2024, or 2028. You understand? Your guy got the benefit of the doubt here, but who's to say who gets the benefit of the doubt in later elections? And this is where this stuff gets scary. Take the partisan politics out of it. Doesn't matter. You got to look at the whole overall picture here. We're all Americans at the end of the day, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, it doesn't matter where you fall on the political spectrum. At the end of the day, we're all Americans. And this hurt all of us. All of us. So this is why this stuff is so important that we at least fix it. If Donald Trump, if you feel that Donald Trump's not guilty in this, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. But we need to see the report. We need to see what is in it that the Russians were doing that they felt was detrimental to the welfare and well-being of the United States. Because this is what the FBI and CIA is saying. Okay?
That's right there. It's all in black and white. Go and read it and see what it actually says. There's no exoneration. When you debate with folks, when you talk with them, it's all right there. People are guilty. People have done things. Take a look. And hey, congressional members, if you are ever pulled up on impeachment, you are not getting this same treatment.
No.
They will judge you and investigate you based on the Justice Manual standards.
Yep.
Just saying. Thank you for tuning in to the Steve and Bobby Show. We're here at Mad Talk TV Shows. We appreciate everyone listening. Please tune in, like our page, please comment. We'll catch you guys later.